In this example, we'll be working with supplier and vendor invoices. We brought in a batch of documents. You'll note that this is the first of 4. In this particular supplier, we have not created a fingerprint for them yet. So to do that process is pretty straightforward. There's header information that I need, and there's detail information I need. To map my header information, some of the key data elements required are obviously invoice number, date, and PO number. So I select my invoice number field. If I come over to the document, you'll see it highlights the particular value I've selected and populates that particular data element. From here, I can do the same thing for my invoice date, my purchase order, and if I need them, my terms as well. You'll note that these particular data elements appear in the same place on this document each time it's sent. But you'll note that some of the additional header information I need, like the total and the freight and taxes, is at the bottom of the page. And this particular information may float from one page to another depending on the number of line items on this particular invoice. So to map these, I want to use my advanced data mapping techniques. So from here, what I can do is create what we call an anchor value. So an anchor value allows me to define a particular value on the document. Once I've found that, then I can train it to look in the appropriate place to get the information that I need. So for my shipping, I want to train it to look for freight. And then I can go find my freight value. The invoice total, I can do the same thing. I can select an anchor value. It doesn't necessarily have to be invoice or total. I can use another value and get my invoice total. So you have a great amount of flexibility to be able to identify where a particular data element is that's required. And it's important to note that all these advanced data mapping tools, the ability to create anchor values, the ability to clean up an image, and the ability to filter various terms out and move lines up or down are all unique to this particular fingerprint. So I can build very accurate rule sets for a particular document to make sure that I get good, accurate data when I read that document. Now to map my detail information, it's a very similar process. I need my part number. If I want to, I can bring in my description, just rubber band it and bring it in. I want to grab my quantity, my price, the unit of measure, and the line total. Note that we do have the ability to account for various discounts and multipliers both at the line and at the header level. So if you have vendors that are sending you those particular types of invoices, we can deal with those as well. And when I select Find Details, it will go read the document, verify that we found the information we're looking for, and once it's done that, I can view the details, confirm that we got all the information we're looking for. Now the next step, once I update this particular document and move forward, we're going to do some other validations prior to letting this process through. We'll actually do some math here. We'll multiply quantity times the price, make sure it foots to the line total. We'll then add up all the line total and any additional information, freight, taxes, anything else that may be on this particular document, and then we'll make sure that they foot to the invoice total. So what that does is it provides an extra check to ensure we've gotten good, accurate data off of this particular document. So in addition to being able to clean up the image prior to reading it, we can also do the math to make sure that what we got adds up to what it should. So from here, I select Workflow Rerun and hit Next, and it takes me to the next document in the batch. So I'm on document 2 of 4. Note that this is the same vendor we just created the fingerprint for. It hasn't been created to long-term memory yet. It will once this batch is finished. But if I come up here and select my Find Fingerprint button, it'll go out, identify who the sender was, and apply the fingerprint we just created to this particular document. It'll then extract the data that we've indicated is required to be able to make this into an electronic transaction, and we're good to go. The next time we bring a batch of Walton Inc. invoices in, it will recognize the sender based on that fingerprint and know where to look for the particular information that we need to process this transaction. So So from here, if I go to my next document, you'll see that this is a document that had been fingerprinted prior. So it read it, flagged it as a complete invoice, so I can move on to my next. And again, it takes me to the next invoice. So you'll see we were able to bring in the second two invoices based on a prior fingerprint map. So once you've built that fingerprint one time, it will recognize the vendor or supplier, know where to look on the particular document to extract the data we need and process that document.